Welcome to Toffee TV. Today my guest is a flying winger who arrived on Merseyside ready to play with a perm and a moustache. Look like a typical Scouser it is. The flamboyant Mr. Terry Curran. Terry, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Barry, but let's get something straight. I'd never had a perm in my life, ever. My hair is natural and always has been natural.
Long flowing locks.
Yes. So I'll put that right, but never had a perm in my life.
You've still got a good head of hair there.
Over the other side of the city,
Oh.
So my hair is natural.
Yeah. Oh no, Tomo's was horrific, wasn't it? Absolutely horrific. Before you got to Everton, we'll talk about Everton in a minute, but before you got to Everton, obviously you'd had spells, you'd had 8 clubs, I was reading. But you were doing really well at Forest, weren't you? That was I know I'd seen a couple of people saying when you were at Nottingham Forest, there was high hopes for the way you were developing. What happened there?
Well, I'd been tapped up for about 6 months with Toffee to go and sign for him. And when it finally happened, I could have signed for Everton at the same time.
Right.
Tottenham and Sheffield United. I think Bingham was your manager at that time. Ken Furphy was Sheffield United manager. I'm not quite sure. Was it Birkinshaw? One of them was manager at Tottenham. Yeah. And I was supposed to meet them after I'd met Clough at the reserve game. Doncaster Rovers playing Mansfield. And Stan Anderson, the manager at the time of Doncaster Rovers, said to me, look, speak to Clough by all means, but speak to others, and we'll try and get you the best deal. Best deal for the club. But I've been tapped up by Clough for 6 months. So I knew I was going to go there. And everything, when I first got there, I got a couple of little injuries. And then I got myself started playing really well. I'm 20, 21. We having teams with Hereford 4-2, Carlisle 5, Sheffield United 6-1. And then the dreaded injury I got against Burnley. It was an accident. John McGovern tripped Paul Fletcher of Burnley. I'd just scored. I came off after 18 minutes. He tripped him, he fell on my knee, and I was out for 6-7 months with a crucial ligament injury. And it knocked me back. It took me a good, really, 14 months to really get over it, Barry. Really, they rushed me back quickly to get back playing, because obviously they hadn't won for a month. We got a draw. We got a result up at Carlisle, and we got a draw up at Carlisle. They hadn't won for a month, like I said, and then I'd scored the winner at Hereford, and then Toffee left me out against Southampton. But when he pulled me in his office, he said, "Look, my career had finished because of this type of injury. As a young lad, you're frustrated because you want to play. I hadn't played for 6-7 months, whatever how long it was, and I lost my cool with it. And I told him, right, I'm ready to play. I played 2 games away from home. The next one's at home. Yes, I was still feeling my leg, and I understand what he was saying to me. But you're a young lad, and we all make mistakes, and it was a mistake in one sense to leave Nottingham Forest. I should have sat there, waited my time, because he did sign me. And he was saying some great things about me at the time, and we were both. When I say both playing well, the team were playing well. John Robertson were playing well out on the left wing, and I were playing right well on the right wing. But how do we know these things are going to happen? These types of injuries, But it happened. It was disappointing. Would I have left Nottingham Forest if I wouldn't have got injured? No one knows. No one knows what would have happened, because yes, I was playing well. Would I have furthered it on? I don't know. But by the time I got back playing, he set off with a team the following season. What had finished the team, what had finished the season well, got promotion, and he brought Shilton in, and I was on the bench for the first game, was it first 2 or 3 games? I did for the first game, and then I went and asked for another move, which obviously he didn't like. And they went on, and that season they went on to win the league. And not only did they win the league, they won everything else with it.
Yeah.
Cup, European Cup, League Cup. You know, fantastic time for Nottingham Forest, and fantastic manager. What more would you want? A manager who I respected, a manager you look up to, who to buy you and had confidence in you. I mean, he was writing terrific things, Barry, about me. I mean, he was on about Steve Coppell and Gordon Hull getting all the headlines at Man United, but he wrote, if Curran wasn't Man United, his name would be in bright light. So it was wrong what I did, but you can't turn the clock back.
No.
Mistakes. And do you learn from it? Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't.
Yeah. It's one of those, isn't it? Obviously, you never know, but at least you're at the, you can say that you played under him. That's something, isn't it? You went off to Sheffield and done really well at Sheffield Wednesday. Seen one of your goals, went on about 7 men and bent it in the far corner. That was a peach. And had some time at Sheffield United as well, didn't you, before you turned up at Everton?
Well, when I left Forest, the only way I've never been tapped up was Southampton. But I left Forest to go to Derby. And when I looked at the Derby team, and when anybody looks at the Derby team, we all support our own teams. I mean, Everton's a great, great football club. Sheffield Wednesday is my favourite club, like Everton's yours, Barry.
Yeah.
And we all do things for our club, and we all want to play for our clubs, or we want to support our teams. And if they're wrong, we stand by them. So I went from there to Derby County under Tom Dockey. And when you look at the team we had there, Roy McPartland, Colin Todd, David Nish, Steve Buckley, David Langan, Jerry Daly, Bruce Rioch, Don Masson, Charlie George. Fantastic. But Tommy just got sacked at Man United. His head weren't right. And I mean, I was talking to Don Masson not long ago, and he was saying, something, Terry, if we'd have taken over the main senior players, which were Toddy and McFarlane and all them, he said we could have won that league because it was a great team, Barry. But Tom one day said to me, it was a buyer in the cellar. He said to me, Southampton's coming, you can stay here, and or you can go to Southampton. And any player will tell you, any player you speak to, if a manager says that, then you think, well, he must not want me here, so I'll move on. So I went to Southampton. I thought, and this is my opinion, what happened to me at Southampton. Not for you, not to dislike Lauren McManey. I thought he'd set us young lads not right. Then he did offer me a 3-year contract, but by that time I'd been tapped up to go to Sheffield Wednesday. I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan. And I went there, and one of my best mates in football, Alan Ball, went absolutely ballistic with me. One of your great players of all time, Alan Ball, he went ballistic with me. He said, Terry, why are you going to play in 3rd division? And I told him, I said, look, I'm not over keen to make money big. But listen, that don't mean that it's opinions, that, Barry. You might find him a nice guy. I didn't find him that way. And then I finished up at Sheffield Wednesday. And when I got to Sheffield Wednesday, I did it to take Sheffield Wednesday back into the old 1st division. Jack was always careful with his money, but I didn't realise, and I love Jack as much. I mean, Howard and Clough, and we'll get on to Howard later on, were fantastic football coaches. I mean, Howard you'd want a night out with because Howard liked to drink and he was a fantastic man. Whereas Jack was a normal guy. Just, he'd want to go sit in a pub. So I loved Jack, but I hated the way we played football. And I finished up joining Sheffield United to upset Jack. We're never going to work that way. And I had 3 great years at Sheffield Wednesday. And I could have gone to Newcastle before joining Sheffield United. I got offered 3 times more money to go to Newcastle. And then one day I got Phil pulls me in and he said to me, listen, Everton want to take you on loan. What do you think? I said, get me away from me as quick as you can. And that's how I came to Everton.
That's how you got there. With I mean, how did you find it? You come into the club on loan. Was it an easy decision just to go on loan at that time? Then that's what you're saying.
Well, when I say something, Barry, I say it as it is. We all know Everton is a massive club. a massive, massive football club. Is it the biggest in England? No, but it's one of the top 6 biggest in England.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely among them, because the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools, and your Arsenals, right? But then you would look at Everton, right?
Yeah.
For winning trophies throughout the years. So you've got to put it in the top 4, and nowadays you've got to still put it in the top 6 football clubs in England without any doubt.
Yeah.
So you're never going to turn a club like Everton down,
right?
Especially when I'm playing in 3rd division. When I got when I got there, Barry, I mean, I've never seen anything like it in my life. You know, it was a different world. It had got facilities like I've never seen. Derby got decent facilities, but Forest hadn't. I hadn't seen them at Southampton. I hadn't seen them at Doncaster Rovers. And when I get there, the Belfield, they've got everything, every mod con there were.
Yeah.
You know, a big full-size football gym. You know, at 21 to go, if you think about it, if you go there at 21, you know, you've got a big gym area there. So if it's not right for training, the pitches of snow. I mean, you don't get the snow now, but in nowadays, you'd have snow, so you could go in there, practice your left foot, your right foot. You've got a wall. You've got a big, massive gym. You've got saunas. You've got cold baths. Way above its time. Not above its time. Way ahead of its time. You know, it's a fantastic football club. But when I get there, there's some fantastic football players, and I mean fantastic football players. Great. Howard Kendall was a great manager. Really saw the game really well. Really, honest opinion of him. Fantastic. You know, fantastic football brain. Still could play football. He trained with us and played in games with us. So when I get there, I mean, the second bottom at league. We played Birmingham. 13,000 people, 13,700 people there at the time, Barry. You know as well as I do, all football clubs hit bad patches. Yeah. You know, I mean, the one thing about Everton, it's never dropped out of the 1st division or the Premier League for years and years. I mean, that were way above Liverpool at one time, because Liverpool were in the old 2nd division.
Yeah,
you know? So when I get there, there's some fantastic football players, but the team were down. The team weren't down. And no disrespect to fans, because at the end of the day, fans, they paid the money and they've been entitled to moan and groan if things not going well. And I could feel the tension then. I mean, I've never bothered about it, Barry. If people give me stick, I've always believed in my own ability, whether I am the best player in the world or not. You've got to think that way, Barry. If you don't think that way, you're not going to succeed.
No.
Get there, the first game was a not a boring 0-0, but it weren't a great 0-0 draw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there were little things in game I did, and they came off, and I thought, you know, what a club this is to play for. Then we play at Ipswich.
Yeah.
And I'm not, when I tell you this, you can speak to Kevin Ratcliffe and all the players what played that day. We win 2-1. And I had an outstanding game. And as we get into the dressing room, Rat says, "Give Terry the ball. He's ripping these apart." So we got the result there, and then we played Luton at home. We win. Was it 5-0, 5-1?
5-0, yeah.
5-0. We win 5-0. I scored a goal, made a couple of goals, and everything was a bed of roses. The fans are singing "Sign Curran on," so everything looked great and was great. And then we go to West Brom? I think we get a draw at West Brom. I keep meaning to look up. We played Tottenham. I'm not sure if we got beat 1-0 there or we drew there.
Got beat 2-1. That's
2-1.
Right. 2-1. Sharp scores, yeah.
Yeah. And then we played Nottingham Forest. We beat them 3-0.
Yeah.
And Pluffy, after the game, Pluffy tapped me back up again to go and play for Notts Forest. And I said, no, I'm not. They'd already won everything, you know, so I couldn't, I couldn't see them, you know, getting back to where they were. Yeah. And when I looked at the players at the club at Everton, and I'm not just saying it, eventually I couldn't get in the team. To how good I think I were, I couldn't get in the team. And we beat Forest. Now, There's only twice when I was disappointed with Howard, but nothing to do with him as a man. It's frustration of when I met him when I first came. I met him at his house, and he was having a bad time. He was having a bad time.
Yeah.
The fans wanted him out. You know, and I thought, well, I'd done really well for him in those 6 games, and we we'd gone from second bottom to halfway up the league table.
Yeah.
Goes back to Sheffield United because I'd done well in that 6 months. Sheffield United wanted more money and things like that, and so it didn't work out. Whatever happened then, within the next couple of weeks, I get pulled in by Sheffield United. We've finally agreed a price with Everton for you. I met Howard up at Birch Services. There's no agents about in those days, Barry.
No.
So I meet Howard and the secretary up at Birch Services, and this is what exactly he said to me. He said, "I'll give you £500 a week, £10,000 signing on. Take it or leave it. Do you want first division football?" Well, I was earning more money at Sheffield United. I said, "Well, I'll go play at third division. It don't make it because I'm that type of player. I love football, Barry. I want to play football." And it had nothing to do with Everton. Nothing to do with Everton one little bit. He's got a decision to make because he's got to try and get the player for the right amount of money. The player's got to try and get the best for him. So he said to me, "Take it or leave it." And I just said, "I'll leave it." And I'm going back to Sheffield United. He looked at me, gone out at first. And I just got up and I walked out. The next day I saw all the headlines, greedy Curran. And I thought to myself, well, I've £25,000 to come in my contract at Sheffield United. So I wanted that, and obviously more money than what I was getting at Sheffield United was. I'm looking at my last contract, you know, because I'm 26, 27.
Yeah.
30. You never know in football how long you're going to last. You don't. And that's what I was looking at. I goes back to Sheffield United. I think things dropped off again at Everton. They hit another bad patch, and I went back there, played at Sheffield United against Stoke in the FA Cup. It was Ron Atkinson, Donnell, and Howard at the game, and he had another one of those games where everything turned out. I don't know if you knew a guy called Norman Wynn who used to write for the Sunday People. I get a phone call from Norman Wynn, and he said to me, "Terry, Man United want you to sign for them. What do you think? Would you fancy it?" I said, "Of course. It's a big club, Man United. Who's not going to want to play for Man United?" He said, "Well, leave it with me. I'll get back to you." At the same time, I hadn't been off the phone an hour when I get a phone call from Arsenal. Do I fancy joining them? You know. And I thought, what's going on? If you do, you think, is somebody taking my player? You know, because you get Man United and then you get Arsenal, Barry. You know what I mean? You think,
Yeah.
But it was true. They did try and sign me. But what had happened with Edge Braley, the owner of Sheffield United, once Arsenal and Man United got involved, they were trying to up the price.
Right, yeah.
So Ron said to Norman Wynn, speak to Terry and tell him he has to go in and ask for the move, demand the move. Then if you ask for the move, you lose your signing on fee. You know, of when they agree the fee. He said if the deal's not done by a certain Saturday, I'm going to sign Arthur Graham. Anyway, they prolonged it, and the Man United finished Arthur Graham. Arsenal signed the player, I think it was Brian Marwood, and I finished back up at Everton. Howard said, "What were you looking for?" I said, "Bah. We agreed it, and that was it. My first game back is against West Brom, and I pulled a muscle in my left thigh. So now I'm out for another 6 months."
Yeah.
They were still in and out of form at Everton, right? But I'm one of those players what goes in and I want the ball out. I mean, Howard wrote about I was one of the best signings he made because I got that confidence, and even when things weren't going right, I got the confidence to want the ball, and it rubbed off on other players. And I'm not saying it was me what did this, and what I'm trying to say is I had that confidence, and we used to have a laugh, me and Bales. It got the other lads settled down, taking pressure away. So we had a good dressing room, like I said, some great players. But I got an injury, a bad injury, and they were still having problems. They were up and down. People said it was it the Oxford result when Inchy scored? I mean, it was a bad back pass from one of the Oxford players. Inchy nipped in, scored, and then I think we beat them 4-1 in the replay, didn't we?
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, I was chopping and changing team, trying to find the right result, trying to find the right balance of the team, trying to get the right confidence into the team. Anyway, I had to go up and see Howard because of the about my injury. I mean, at first they all thought I was kidding on because I could jog up and down. I mean, I'd beat Bales with Reedy on my back, and that's not being big-headed or being clever. You know, I'm just trying to say I was that quick. You know, but it would let me jump up and down, but it wouldn't let me sprint. And eventually, I had to have the operation.
Right.
And it was length of my thumb, width of my thumb. Once I finally sorted it out, I would send me down to Watford somewhere, Hertfordshire, to have my operation. Finally got rid of it. Finally got back playing. But the Everton team were doing well. But I had to go and see Howard this day, and as I go up, Reed is just coming out of his office, and he got a bit of a. These are facts. Listen, when I say it, I'll tell you now. I'm not. I'll tell you it's a fact. So Reed is coming out of his office with a bit of tear in his eye. So what's up? He said he's selling me to Burnley. Burnley's offered £60,000, and he's telling me I can go. Well, I'd gone to the Wolves game. They played Wolves and Birmingham, and Reed had been our best player.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, Reedy, look, I've had moves, and it don't get you anywhere. If you're happy, and the Liverpool lad, I know he was a Liverpool supporter, but he's massive Everton in now. Yeah. You know, and he said, I don't know. I said, that Reedy. And if he denied it, I'd tell you in front of him. That is true. God's truth. They were going to tell him to Burnley. And he got a tear in his eye, and I said to him, you don't have to go. Reedy don't know. Anyway, he'd gone back into upstairs at Belfield because, you know, you can have food and everything up there. Television there. Fantastic facility. I'd never seen nothing like it in my life. Honestly, I've never seen. I thought, Jesus, where? You know, if you can't be a footballer here, you could never be a footballer. So I goes in to see Howard. How are you? Boom, 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 boom. I said to him, fine, Gaffer. We get in there, right? And he said to me, he said, well, I need you back as quick as I can. Things are not going right. And I said, listen. I said, we're not far short, Howard. We're not. I said, let me tell you something. If you sell Reedy, you'll be selling our one, if not our best player. You know, is he a great trainer? No. Right? Is he quick? No. But let me tell you about him, Howard. Come Saturday, it's like somebody's put a battery into him and he could run all day, Barry. He could run all day.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
It was one of those players. Obviously, I played against him and Paul Jones at Bolton, and they were fantastic players. Both of them had bad injuries, knee injuries. You know, and he looked like being one of the best midfield players around at that time when he was playing for Bolton. And he looked like I think he was going to Arsenal then for a lot of money, and he got a bad injury. And I says to Howard, and I says, Gaffer, listen, if you sell him, you're mental. He's one of our best players, if not our best player. And they were playing Everton, they were playing Liverpool, and I said to him at one time, I said, why are you flying to Liverpool? Yes, they're a great team. Yes, they're a fantastic football club. Look at the players we've got. Reedy, Brace, Van den Houw, Bales, Southall, Gary Stevens, all internationals. Gray, Sharpie, Inchy, Trevor Stevens, who they give £300,000 for. I know he didn't do well when he first went there. Sheeds. Why should we be fighting to Liverpool? And he said to me, he's talking, he said, you know something, Terry, you're right. And they beat Liverpool 1-0.
Yeah.
But what happened with me after that injury, I looked at the Forest and I missed out on everything. And then it rushes me back to get playing against Southampton in the FA Cup.
The FA Cup, yeah.
And I played too many games in a such short period of time. And before the extra time, he was going to pull me off, and he didn't do. And I finished up staying on. We finished up winning again, not through me. I'm just saying, I stayed on. And don't forget, I've been out for 6 months, and I think I played 2 games. I think Arsenal at home, what a midweek game. I'm not sure the other one, but I played other games in between friendlies. You know, with youth team and intermediates in those days, whatever it was, and reserves. Yeah. And then he played me again after that game against Norwich. And I pulled my hamstring, and I've never pulled hamstrings. And they went on to win the FA Cup. And, you know, and by time I got really back, fully playing well again, the team were doing well. I mean, I know I was a good player. I believed in my own ability, but Trevor Stevens, how could you leave him out?
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic player. Turned out to be a fantastic player for Everton. But when he first went there, things weren't going well for him. Things weren't going well for Reedy. Things weren't going well for Howard. But it all turned out great for them, and it is. And they were a fantastic football team. And if it weren't for the ISIL disaster, who's to say they wouldn't have won a European Cup at all? You know, we can't guarantee that. It's an hypothetical question. But they were such a fantastic football team. But as a player, Barry, you're frustrated. You want to play. You want to play.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got anything about you want to play. And then he played me. I played him in between games. Did all that. Listen, regardless what anybody says about Everton, I never really had a bad game at Everton. I really didn't. And the success they had over the 3-year period I had there were fantastic. Yeah. So it weren't. I did bad because I did well at Man United. I did well against Fortuna Sittard over in Holland. I did well at home. So, and then you know when you play bad, you don't need fans to tell you play bad. They will tell you, but you know, anybody knows when you've had an off day at any work, you know. So my record stands up for itself at Everton, from where they were to where they finished. But I have no qualms that I could push Trevor Stevens, fantastic football player. Sharpie, Andy Gray, all fantastic football players, Sheedy. So it was always going to be very difficult once a team were playing well. Now, if I would have got injured and I were playing well at the time, it might have been Trevor, it might have been anyone else. But they had fantastic football players. Alan Harper, great servant for the club. Kevin Richardson, in and out of the team. They were great footballers. So I was frustrated that I played in the quarterfinals of the Cup Winners' Cup against Fortuna Sittard, and then we're playing Bayern Munich in Munich, and I got a funny feeling I weren't going to play, and I lost it. I lost it a little bit. Look, I'm not saying it. I'm older now, but if I'd kept my mouth shut at Forest, and if I'd kept my mouth shut up at Everton, at some point I would have got back in. And once you get in, it's for me then to establish myself. I'm not saying I would have, but I should have give it a couple of months, and I didn't do so. But it's fantastic football club, Barry. I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan, so Everton and all the other clubs I've played for always come second to them, like all the other clubs come second to and I hope you all understand. But fantastic football club, and let me tell you something: the best 2 managers I ever played with was Toffee and Howard. Fantastic. And I've never criticised any player. I've had a go at some managers because of the way how they play football. But Howard Kendall is one of the best football managers I played under. Him and Cloughy. I got Cloughy because Cloughie's character, Howard's character was different, but same type of football he wanted to play. And I'm not going to criticise Howard, but I have to say he would have and he would have had a bigger name in the game, even though it was such a great name he had, especially for Everton. But he would have been up there among the elite if it wasn't for his drink, and everybody knows about it. So
Yeah.
he had a fantastic career, fantastic football manager. And when people say to me about David Moyes, I said he gets more glory out of Everton for keeping Everton, one of the biggest clubs in the country, in the Premier League. And that way Kendall won, because for a few years Moyes got a great reputation about him at Everton. And I know I went back and obviously it didn't work out the second time and things like that. But when was the last time Everton won a league title with Howard Kendall? When would it before? Would it when Howard Kendall were playing? He was a fantastic football manager, fantastic person for the players, and his name should have been up there with Clough's and the Shankleys and the Paisleys of this world, Barry, definitely. And it is, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm trying to get at? If I would have made the mistakes I made, I might have had a bigger name in football than what I did do. I remember Bonnie Whelan said to me, "Why did you go and play to Division, Terry? And play with your ability." So the mistakes I made, but football manager is hard.
Yeah.
And the pressure of it because as a player, we do go off and that's it. As a manager, he's got to look after the fans, he's got to look after the directors, he's got to look after each and every individual player. Some players like managers, some don't. I liked Howard Kendall. I was frustrated not getting into the team. But, what player doesn't? I don't want to sit on a bench. You're damned if you do. You're just there to take money, and you're damned if you don't, But what a football club. And to have the facility. When I think about it now, I think to myself, because I love training, I would never, ever in treatment route for sake of being. I had two bad injuries, one at Forest and one at Everton. Yeah. Both bad injuries, Barry, and look what both did. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I've played with some absolutely fabulous football players. I've played with some fantastic football clubs, and two clubs I played with won European trophies and league titles. So it's not a bad career I had. It doesn't stand up like the rest of the Everton lads do because playing in the lower leagues, but that weren't nothing to do with anybody else but me. To get the recognition, to get that recognition from players, then you have to play at the highest level. But I had people like George Best, Jimmy Greaves, all these players, Duncan McKenzie's all come to me, personally came to me and said to me, "What a player you are." So that'll do for me. And I have played for two fantastic football clubs, what won trophies. So I didn't have a bad career, Barry.
No, not at all. And again, you were so unlucky in the 2 seasons that we did things. I mean, to come back from the thigh injury, then to play in the FA Cup semi-final, and I had a little look at the highlights again. You made two cracking chances, one for Ince and one for Andy Gray. And did you know you were the last person to touch the ball in that semi-final? You had the ball in the corner flag and then kicked it out, and the referee blew the whistle.
Listen, I'm thinking to myself because you can see fans are ready. But all semi-finals when I was a kid, they all used to come running onto the pitch.
Yeah.
And I could see what would happen, but there's no way I could get out of it. And I got absolutely mobbed by it. Not saying they wanted to mob me. I was the only one there. Everybody said enough. But you're right. Fantastic day. And I don't forget, I missed out of the final. I'm not saying I would have been picked, but if I would have been injured, you just don't know. They've rushed me to get back to play for the semi-final. So you want to be in the team. But by the time I'd really got back, establishing myself, the team were playing well. And you know yourself, when you look at those players, they weren't mug players. They were players. They were players, top players.
Yeah, you weren't a bad player yourself, though, to be part of that. And then obviously the second full season when we win the league, are you saying that because you played in Sittard and you played at Goodison in both of those games, and obviously we won the tie 5-0 overall, and you fell out then with Howard over being left out?
I didn't fall out. Listen, I have never seen Howard give anyone a rollicking in the dressing room, ever.
Right, yeah.
Ever. He always spoke nicely to you as a person, as a human being. and he never were horrible to any player. He was never horrible at how he spoke to players. Even when players weren't playing particularly well, when they was having the bit of a blip at the time, he always tried to get confidence in the players, and he took the full brunt of it, and he always took the full. I'm not saying I wouldn't have played. If you look at that spell, if I didn't play, I was on the bench a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I was on the bench about 18 times out of those games. It was my silly stupidity to what I did.
Right.
I don't blame anybody else. I blame myself for my career. I didn't fall out with him, and he did not fall out with me. It was just being pettish. I've been childish, and I say it now. And I was wrong. Even afterwards, I knew I was wrong. And it was silly. I should have gone, and I should have. This team was on to big things, and it proved it. So I had a good career, and I was part of that Everton team, what won the league, because I played enough games to get a championship medal, and I was in and around. I was on the bench, and he always said to me, "Look, Terry, I know, but Trevor's now playing exceptionally well, but I know if Trevor's not playing, I can put you in. Then you can establish yourself again. If you can get on, you might establish yourself. Just keep working hard, and your time will come." I couldn't wait. I didn't want to wait. And I'm not an audible person, Barry. I'm not.
No. I just want to play games.
Honestly, listen, I will do all for anyone, but I want to play. And I was one of those players, Barry. It didn't bother me when I played at Barcelona or Halifax Town. Now, Adrian Eve was obsessed with top players. Starstruck. And we go and watch Man United play European Cup against Juventus, me, him, and Reedy. And they'd talk about players. And he used to get so excited. And he finished up signing Kaká. And I remember saying to Rob Wakinshaw, I said, I bet he'd been starstruck when he signed Kaká, because he loved all these big-name players. Good player himself, isn't he? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And we go to Man United for the European games before we got into Europe. And he'd talk about players and things like that. And he used to say to me, "Terry, calm down, you'll get back in." And I just wanted to play. And I know I'm not a bad lad. I know I have never caused a manager problems as such, because I always worked hard in training. I never missed training. I've never drank in my life. Well, I'm telling a lie. I have got drunk a few times, but I've never drank beer in my life. And I've never drank lager in my life. If I've got drunk, it's been on vodka and Coke or Bacardi or wine, that type of thing. But if I've been drunk 6 times in my life, and I'm 65, that's it.
That's not bad.
I've never really been a drinker, but I've been a womanizer, and I've been a party goer. So don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, I'm not thing, but I know I'm not a bad lad. I'm not a bad lad.
Brilliant stories, and brilliant for you to take time out your day.
I could tell you some stories. I'll tell you one little story.
Go on.
I'll tell you one little story. After the semi-final of the FA Cup, we get back, and they're all drinking on the bus. And I had a drink that night, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And then she got a white Capri, a gear. It was a white one. 3-litre gear Capri. Anyway, he's stopping finished up stopping at my house. But we drove his car back to Bales, and you had to go down this estate, but Ingy decided to drive over it and got the car stuck because the car was low. So we said the best thing to do with this is to push it over the top. So we all get out of the car. So I says to Ingy, when I give you a nod, rev the wheels, right? Because it was all wet that night. And I said to Andy and Reedy, move away from the car when I give you a nod, because there's me in Bales, Bales, Andy, Reedy, and me pushing the car. So I said to Reedy and to Andy, when I give you a nod, get out of the way. and I put my hand up for Inchy to rev the car. And those three then just come out of the way, and all the mud sloshed up into Bales' face. Like, you know, if you'd have seen it, it was so funny. And Bales was going by me. But me and Bales were great in the dressing room for everybody. You know, we brought that sense of humour into the dressing room that took the pressure away from us. But obviously, I can only say, fantastic football club, brilliant. I don't get back up there that much, and I do get offered to get to go up, but I'm an hour and a half away. I'm not one for driving. I've got really bad knees, and when I sit in car for that length of time, it's, you know, my knees are really bad. But it's an honour for me to be able to speak to someone at Everton, and I know you do it yourselves, this thing, but speak to fans, you know. I appreciate it, and I were a part of the Everton, and no one can take away from that. I did good things for Everton. There weren't bad things.
Absolutely superb. Like I say, Terry, brilliant to chat here, and hopefully we'll get the opportunity to do it again when there's some football back, and we can have a chat about that as well. But thanks very much for taking time out your day to speak to us today. Much appreciated.
You're welcome, and thank you, and good luck when we get back playing, and let's hope that this great club gets back to winning major trophies again.
Get Sheffield back up as well, and have some good games. Sheffield, Everton.
With a great football club, we've always had owners what don't think big. Like that was the difference. People said to me about Everton, what's the difference? Well, when I say Everton, no going to win trophies. We only dream that we might win trophies. Nice. You know, but whether we're third division or whether we're in first Premier League, I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan through and through. But I like to look at all the clubs and what I play for. And Everton was the biggest club. I will say that. The biggest football club I played for, without doubt.
Let's leave it there. Superb, Terry. Thanks. Like I say, thanks for taking time out your day. Stay safe. Look after yourself, mate. And hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Cheers, Barry. Thank you. Stay safe, you and your family.
Big thanks there to Terry Curran for taking time out of his day to speak to us here at Toffee TV. Some great stories there. He can talk, can't he? Top man. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and if you want more videos, join us on Patreon. See you later.